We can't have a society completely dominated and our choice completely dominated. It's like if you're sat in a room and they bombard you with images of Coca-Cola for 3 months, and you're let out of that room, and there's a can of Coke there, and say, "Would you like something to drink?" Of course you're going to say yes. I mean, that's not free choice. It's programming. And that's what we're talking about here. And quite often people, they have this problem with this program, and they're not really sure why. They say, "Well, I don't think that's right." And they'll ask, "Why? Why don't you think that's right?" I don't really know. It just doesn't really seem like it's right. Well, you can't justify it, so you're wrong. Well, that's not right either. So you got to go with your guts always. I came to this school in 1989, and when I came here, it's much like every high school that ever was, just like the high schools were before. I was there, and the high schools the same as they were in '79. You had your different tribal status, which is the basis of all of our society. You have your different political structures, which you have here. You have your jocks, your geeks, your little preppy crowd. You've got the slut crowd. You've got the crime crowd. You've got all those different guys. And it's just different varying degrees right across North America. You got, some places down in the States, they got the jocks are a little bit more violent. Gangs are a little bit more violent. They all get into the racial status and all the rest of this bullshit, but it's all based upon the need for acceptance. And then as that progresses, as people leave, they leave this high school, they take that mentality, that society that they've learned in these places, and they move on. And no one gives high school any credit. No one sits there and goes, "Well, there's a statement of, high school is just, you grow out of that shit." No, you don't grow out of that shit. You don't grow out of that shit. You grow up with that shit. And you take it with you. Kind of like baggage, Not too far from here, down across the way there is you can't really see it from here, but there's a place called Max Milk. It isn't there anymore. It was bought up by some other, corporate kind of 7-Eleven or someplace like that. Anyway, myself and Ronan Medic used to walk from this school down there every day at lunch. We talked about shit, at that time, back in 90, 91, Desert Storm was on, and we had our Desert Storm t-shirts and our Desert Storm trading cards, We thought it was all cool, that Desert Storm and Operation Desert Storm hired the same company that Coca-Cola hires. So when you have companies like Coca-Cola marketing war, and the same marketing companies that market Coca-Cola that market war, you wonder why our society is as fucked up as it is. I'm down here with APOC, who was nice enough to fly up here from Buffalo. And it's a pretty good weekend. We've been hanging out, talking and shit. And the goal of this video magazine that we're going to be putting out is to explain how we're all conditioned, and pointing it out real time, just on 8mm tape, and you can see it everywhere you go. And all you got to do is just change your perception, and changing your perception, you can change your thought, and then changing your thought, and you can change your reality. And that's what this is about. It's funny, when you put an animal in a cage and you beat it, it'll eventually start to act savage. Now, the interesting thing is when you get into the high school prison structure, which prepares you, of course, for the political prison structure, they have video cameras that watch you. Why the fuck should there be video cameras watching children? Is this to maintain security? Is that what this is? Or is this the desire or the knowledge that things are going to get bad? They know that this neighborhood here, this isn't a bad neighborhood. There's not a lot of violence here. But they got those video cameras up there watching the kids because they know it's going to get bad. So rather than taking steps to prevent it from getting bad, from stopping the lies and stopping the things that can happen, they're just going to monitor it, They'll put these little cameras up and let these kids know that, well, we're always watching you. You have no freedom here. You're on school property. This is school land. You're here to learn, and then we're going to crank you out. You're our product. That's not what school's about, man. School's about learning. It's about having fun. It's about making friends and shit. At least that's what it should be about. That's what online learning's about. I mean, which is cooler, school or the internet? Why do you think that way? You shouldn't. There's real people who should really be able to teach you. Yet we're all fucked because of that. Because of corporate mentality, man. Because of the prison structure. Because of prevention. And all this kind of jazz. Why don't we just stop fucking around and have some real faith in real people? Why don't we try that for a change? Why don't you not have guys with shotguns at schools? What if you were to teach these kids like, hey, we're just all trying to learn here. Let's be real for once, okay? Hey, Sean, can you take a look at this for me?
Sure, sure.
Alright, don't know.
Oh! You're running Windows 98 on this, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I can fix that. I can fix that. One sec.
Great. It's a flea market, much better solution than the mall. You look around, you see all these people that aren't paying taxes on items so that they can sell them and be free in their purchases. You're helping real people with real money. You should find flea markets in your own communities and check them out, because you'll find things that you can't buy in regular stores, just as good, 1/10 the price. Plus you can barter. That's a real solution. Can somebody please explain to me what happened to my beach? I'd like to know what happened to my beach, okay? Well, the problem here is that I used to be able to go to the beach, walk down the beach, walk along the ocean side, throw rocks into the sea. That's not really an option anymore. I'd like to know why that is. Not only is it that I can't walk down the beach anymore, I gotta pay for every time I come here to see the ocean. Do you know that the bag of water surrounding a baby has the same salt content as the ocean? And now it's charging me $1.25 an hour just to go see my mom? Give me a break, man. That's messed up. I think the birds get a break in this joint, man. They can't pay taxes. Birds can't pay taxes. So you know what? They're not going to be able to sit up there. No way. No freeloading for no birds. Check it out. I mean, now you just can't come to the beach and start celebrating nature. No. Now it's no bikes, no pets, no dogs, no littering, no glass bottles, no walking around, no worship of nature. Not a religion. Do not worship. Make sure you don't litter in the water. Make sure you don't swim in the water because it's too polluted. Can't do that. No. But make sure you pay your $1.25 and no freeloading birds. None of those birds. Birds will land on top of those boats. They're anarchy birds. The blackbird of anarchy, and you can't have those. Not that I don't think nature should be protected, not like I don't think nature should be somewhat regulated, but the pendulum's gone too far. What's the point, man? You can't get out there, you can't go and enjoy the sun if you don't have a $1.25 to park your vehicle down by the seaside, and everything's not so far away from nature. I mean, come on, why don't we let nature manage their own business and let us go down and see it once in a while? That'd be a better plan, don't you think? My name's Sean Kennedy. I am the fucking man.